Welcome to Heise TV, I'm your host Brandon. Today on this episode of You Can, we'll be installing the JP-STL spare wheel light that's designed for 2007 and up Jeep Wranglers, including all trim levels.
This install is a 1 out of 3, so no special tools are required.
Now let's have a look what's included in the box. Now this product today is pretty straightforward. You'll be receiving one ABS plastic spare tire plate. The plate has a simple power and ground that will connect to the third brake light. On the outer edge, you'll be seeing that there's a smoke polycarbonate lens, and behind the lens are 85 red LEDs. The 85 watts are more than enough to illuminate the spare tire. In the middle of the plate, you'll see that there's slots to match the mounting pattern for the spare tire. We also have an opening in the middle to allow for the factory rear camera to pass through. The plate has a diameter of 13.75 inches, so it'll work with most factory and aftermarket rims. To get this installed, let's go to Aaron for tool time.
Thanks, Brandon. All right, Jeepers. Today we're gonna go over all the tools you need to do a basic installation for a third brake light inside your tire. Jeep supplies most of the parts that you need in this handy dandy kit. It's gonna be found in your glove box, maybe the center console, but this can be used from taking your tire off to your top. With this piece today, you're gonna be using the T40 Torx and a little ratchet. For us, for filming purposes, just so it's easier to see what we're doing, we have this. It's just an iFixit T40 Torx piece. The other thing is getting the tire off. Jeep again helps you out here. We got our lug wrench. This is found underneath the package tray in the rear of your Jeep. For the aftermarket equivalent, breaker bar, 22 millimeter socket. And when you're putting that tire back on, you're gonna wanna torque it down. You don't wanna be going down the road and your tire bounce off on you. So we're gonna torque that down properly. Other pieces that you need, just general housekeeping items, pair of side cutters, and some strippers. Now this is gonna be vital when you're actually installing the third brake light because we have to tap into that circuit. So you're gonna strip the wire back and then using a poking device, paper clip, pick tool, anything like that, separate the wire so you can wrap it up. And we'll show you how to do that later. And then to get to that wire, we're just gonna be using a basic box cutter. And once you wrap that wire, you're gonna wanna insulate it. So we got some really good electrical tape. And then just to put a fine finish on your install, we have some fabric tape by Tessa here. So with that, I'm gonna throw it over to John. He's gonna go over our basic safety steps.
Thanks, Aaron. All right, guys, like Aaron said, safety is important for you and safety is important for the vehicle. So to get ready today, we're gonna go to our toolbox, get a drawer so we can store our personal items. Things like watches and rings are dangerous for you. Wife might not like it, but hey, I like my fingers. So to finish that off, we're gonna put on our safety glasses. Now that we're ready, let's get going.
That's good advice, John. Sorry, honey. All right, so what we're gonna do to begin this install is actually we have to take off the tire, and to do that, you begin with removing the camera cover. So for that is gonna be your Torx T40, and this is just a lock and an unlock. So a little bit left, a little bit right. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And we're gonna pull that straight off. Now this is happening live on camera. We didn't pre-loosen any of these bolts. They're still factory torqued down, so we're gonna have some fun with this. And then before you take all of these off, you're definitely gonna call a buddy in, because these tires, stock tires are heavy enough, but if you've got aftermarket rims, some of those can get upwards of 100, 120 pounds. So you're gonna wanna call in a buddy. And for that, I'm gonna call in my buddy, John.
Hey.
What up, bud?
Going on?
We taking this here tire off, so let me grab the little spinny woo so we can speed this up for you.
1,
2,
3.
There we go. Like a glove. Now we're gonna carry this off. Now when you take that tire off, just like we did, lean it up against something, lay it flat. So what we're gonna do is splice in our third brake light. And to do that, we have to gain access to this loom that comes through the tailgate. Now this has what we would call a tech flex on. It's a split loom jacket, but it does have a piece of tape that holds it together. For that, that's what our box cutter is going to be for. We're just going to gingerly break that tape open. And once you do that, you'll be able to gain access to these 3 wires here. Now some might need to stop and brake for pump your brakes kind of situation, right? There's 3 wires in here and one of them is kind of a bigger black wire. This is for your backup camera. If you cut this, you no longer have a backup camera. So avoid this wire altogether. And then you have 2 thinner gauge wires, a black one and a white one. That's going to be your positive for the white, negative for the black. And what we're going to do at this point is get our strippers and center it up on just about where this piece of tape is. And you gently pull that insulation back and do it twice just to give yourself enough room. All right, and that gives you your positive wire and your negative wire. And we're going to come in with our pick tool, and what that does is that's going to give us access to make a hole inside of this loom. So with that, you have a hole. Same for the negative side. Kind of keep your fingers clear. You don't want to poke yourself. Split those wires up. What we need to do at this point is stretch this wire out. Now, we give you plenty of line so you can route this however you want it. We're going to take the most direct route here. So once you plate this, you have this bit. And what we recommend you do is you actually feed it through here into this tech flex split. And once you have the length that you want, cut this short. So we'll show you how to do that next. All right, set your length. All right, now so that's the exact measurement that we need. We're gonna come off a little bit more than that, about 1 inch. Give yourself some wiggle room by the time you strip your wire. So cut that off. Coming in here again. Strip your wire. Really easy. Nothing advanced is happening right here. This is something you can do in your driveway in less than 15 minutes. I like to give them a little twist before I pull the ends off, where your wire isn't frayed and it's all together. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our positive and you're gonna feed that through the hole you just made. And we're gonna get you a better image of this close up on camera, but it's called a poke and wrap, and it's simply what it is. You poke it through the hole you just made and you twist. All right, and to show you again. All right, so I just cut a little bit of electrical tape here, and we're gonna start above our splice. You wanna kind of pull tightly. What we want to do is you grab your wire and we're going to stick it back in to the loom for the factory. And you do that by opening it up and just running it up with your thumb. We're going to take our new wires, tuck them right in with these factories. There you go. Now we're going to recreate this joint using some exterior testa tape. So just take a little bit off, use your knife very gently, cut away from your fingers. And rewrap that. Well, since we've introduced a new wire, we're going to do the same at the top. So now that we're on the downhill of this, you can put your tire back on and be done with the installation. But we're gonna make this look factory fresh, right? So with that Tessa tape we just dressed our factory wires with, we're gonna dress the wires on our third brake light here, make them look complete. And to do this, it's better with a friend, right? So I'm gonna call in my buddy John real quick.
Hey guys, come back in.
Back in, all right? He's gonna hold this, and basically the reason why it's easier for two people is he can hold this wire nice and straight for me, so I can wrap it and give it this clean look that we're going for. So just get a little bit off. And again, the theory here is going to be the same, tight. So keep it pulled tight and you just twist down. All right, and you're just gonna tuck her in like so. And as you can see, it really makes this wire disappear. Again, just giving you that factory look. This is a torque wrench, and this is representative of everything you will find on the market. For this particular Jeep, we're gonna do 90 pounds on each lug to keep it secured. Again, like we talked about before, you don't wanna be driving down the street and this bounce into the guy's windshield behind you. I mean, unless he's tailgating you, right? But no, you don't. So to do that, we're gonna set this to 90 pounds. So for our wrench to set torque, we have to loosen this screw at the bottom, and we want 90 pounds. So we're gonna roll down. Again, same with righty tighty, lefty loosey, till you see the marks at 90 right here. And this is 0. If you needed any other variants of that, you got 92, 94, 96. We want 90. Now to set this so it doesn't turn on you, run this up until it's nice and tight. Then that doesn't move as you torque on it. All right, Jeepers. Now one pro tip I got for putting these on if you're doing it by yourself, again, having a buddy's better for you. See how this makes an upside down triangle? You want to replicate that pattern in this star here. So 2 top, 1 at the bottom. That orientation is going to help you lift this up and get it on a little easier than trying to rotate it and find the hole.
Ready?
Ready? Go. All right, and just like that. John, if you can hold that for a minute for me.
Got it.
Best thing to do with your lug nuts is run them in by hand. I know it takes a little bit longer, but in the long run, you'll be happier because you're not cross-threading them. Run them in with our little ugga-dugga. So we got our torque wrench here, and you want to make sure you're, again, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So I'm going to pull out the frame here. And the way you use the torque wrench, you just hold the handle right here until you hear it click. Just like that. Don't pull on it again. That's 90 foot-pounds. And we're gonna come over here. And this ought to show you, if anybody ever says an ugga-dugga is enough, how many turns am I getting on this and not getting a click? Right there. Then the last kind of cherry on top is this protective cover. She slides right on, and we'll roll that to the lock side. And you're done. All right, now that that's installed, you come to actually see the fruit of your labor here. I got John in the Jeep here. He's gonna hit those brakes for us. Go ahead, John. Boom, there it is. All installed, nice and bright. It's gonna get people seeing you actually hitting your brakes at night, hopefully. And I'm gonna throw it back to Brandon in the studio, and he's gonna wrap it up for us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We got the Heise spare wheel light installed with ease. This light will give your Wrangler some personality and you some peace of mind. I appreciate you for tuning in to this episode of You Can here on Heise TV. If you like this show, ring the notification bell, smash the like button, and subscribe so you can never miss a moment of Heise TV.